Annas, Caiaphas, and Sumas, Datum, Gamel, Judas, Levi, Nephilim, Alexander, Cyrus, and other Jews went to Pilate about Jesus, accusing him with many bad crimes, and said, "We are assured that Jesus is the son of Joseph, the carpenter, land born of Mary, and that he declares himself the Son of God, the King. Not only so, but attempts the dissolution of the Sabbath and the laws of our fathers." Pilate replied, "And what is it which he attempts dissolving?" The Jews told him, "We have a law which forbids doing curses on the Sabbath day. But he cures both the lame and the deaf, those afflicted with palsy, the blind, the lepers, and demoniacs, on that day by wicked methods." Pilate replied, "How can he do this by wicked methods?" They answered, "He is a conjurer, and casts out devils by the prince of the devils. So all things become subject to him." Then said Pilate, "Casting out devils seems not to be the work of an unclean spirit, but to proceed from the power of God." The Jews replied to Pilate, "We entreat, your highness, to summon him to appear before your tribunal. Hear him yourself." Then Pilate called a messenger and said to him, "By what means Jesus would be brought hither?" And went the messenger forth, and knowing Christ worshipped him, and having spread the cloak which he had in his hand upon the ground, he said, "Lord, walk upon this, and go in, for the governor calls thee." When the Jews perceived what the messenger had done, they exclaimed against him to Pilate and said, "Why did you not give him his summons by a beadle, and not by a messenger?" For the messenger, when he saw him, worshipped him, and spread the cloak which he had in his hands upon the ground before him, and said unto him, "Lord, the governor calls thee." And Pilate called the messenger and said, "Why hast thou done this?" The messenger replied, "When thou sentest me from Jerusalem to Alexander, I saw Jesus sitting in a mean figure upon a she-ass, and the children of the Hebrews cried out, Hosanna, holding boughs of trees in their hands. Others spread their garments in the way, and said, Save us. Thou who art in heaven, blessed is he who cometh in the name of the Lord. And then the Jews cried out against the messenger, and said, The children of the Hebrews made their acclamations in the Hebrew language, and how couldest thou, who art Greek, understand the Hebrew? The messenger answered them, and said, I asked one of the Jews, and said, What is this which the children do cry out in the Hebrew language? And he explained it to me, saying, They cry Hosanna, which being interpreted is, O Lord, save me, or, O Lord, save. Pilate then said to them, Why do you yourselves testify to the words spoken by the children, namely by your silence? In which has this messenger done amiss? And they were silent. And the governor said unto the messenger, Go forth, and endeavor by any means to bring him in. But the messenger went forth and did as before, and said, Lord, come in, for the governor calleth thee. And as Jesus was going in by the ensigns, who carried the standards, the tops of them bowed down and worshipped Jesus. Whereupon the Jews exclaimed more vehemently against the ensigns. But Pilate said to the Jews, I know it is not pleasing to you that the tops of the standards did of themselves bow and worship Jesus. But why do you exclaim against the ensigns, as if they had bowed and worshipped? They replied to Pilate, We saw the ensigns themselves bowing and worshipping Jesus. Then the governor called the ensigns and said to them, Why did you do thus? The ensigns said to Pilate, We are all pagans and worship the gods in temples, and how should we think anything about worshiping him? We only held the standards in our hands, and they bowed themselves and worshipped him. Then said Pilate to the rulers of the synagogue, Do ye yourselves choose some strong men, and let them hold the standards, and then we shall see whether they will then bend of themselves. So the elders of the Jews sought out 12 of the most strong and able old men and made them hold the standards. And they stood in the presence of the governor. And Pilate said to the messenger, "Take Jesus out, and by the means bring him in again." And Jesus and the messenger went out of the hall. And Pilate called the ensigns, who before had borne the standards, and sworn to them that if they had not borne the standards in that manner, when Jesus before entered in, he would cut off their heads. The governor commanded Jesus to come in again, and the messenger did as he had done before, and very much entreated Jesus that he would go upon his cloak and walk on it. And he did walk upon it and went in. When Jesus went in, the standard bowed themselves as before and worshipped him.